Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today's Friday, June 5th, 2020. Today I'm going to talk about the latest rumors and some sports coming back post-COVID. Go over KBO results from the last 2 days, look ahead to the weekend, recap last night's episode of Celebrity Watch Party, the season finale of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, my fourth MLB mock draft, and my 2015 top 10 NHL players and games. All right, I'll start with COVID. The latest sport to have a rumor drop of its return, the WNBA, as it was reported by ESPN's Michelle Vopel that the league is proposing a 22-game regular season starting July 24th, with the league playing at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, and multiple sources have confirmed that. That's really awesome that the WNBA will be back, most likely now with this report. We'll obviously get into it more when I have Jeff Maglicetti on in about an hour, as he is my, as I like to say, WNBA expert, because he covers the league, he covers the Liberty. And it also says in the ESPN article here, details of the playoffs, which would end in October, have not been specified according to sources, and the players have not agreed to the proposal, which was been described as tentative, as some teams are still being informed of the known details. So it'd be good if the W comes back, so we'd see all these teams, and obviously a shorter season, though. Maybe Jeff can get us into detail, like who would that benefit more. And this was a huge offseason for the WNBA. A lot of big names were traded. You had Sabrina Ionescu finally drafted after being the best player in women's hoops the last couple of years. And you have all these super teams that have formed in the WNBA this offseason with the all these trades. So I think it's a good thing that the league is coming back in all likelihood. And now, obviously, we wait on Major League Baseball, as they are finding a way to come back. Jeff Passan said a couple hours ago that the league and the Players Association remained at a stalemate, keeping baseball from returning. At its core, it is a fight over pennies on the dollar. That's what I've been saying. It's over money. Not because of COVID. It's all because of money. And Jeff says at its core, it's a fight over pennies on the dollar. Like I said, it is myopic and it is unnecessary and has solutions. And then he writes a whole column about it. And then in a Players Association board meeting yesterday, the Executive Council players' representatives remained steadfast in turning down any further salary reductions. And then Tony Clark came out with a huge statement yesterday, and how it says at the end here, important work remains to be done in order to safely resume the season. We stand ready to complete that work and look forward to getting back on the field. So Tony Clark seems confident that there's going to be a season. There's some people in the media that don't think we'll have a season, and some people that do think that we'll have a season. I asked my 3 recent guests on. Derek said no, but he doesn't feel good about his no. And because he did follow it up with, oh, you'll probably be right. And then James and Julian said that they both think that there will be a season as well. So obviously any baseball news that breaks during the weekend, I'll have it for you on Monday's show. Now I'm going to go over the KBO results from yesterday and today and look ahead to the weekend. I forgot to do KBO yesterday because I wanted to talk about the Drew Brees situation. So that's what made me forget about the KBO. So yesterday, Kaium over Han lost 7-3. Doosan over KT 14-8. NC over SK 10-0. Kia over Latte 7-3. And LG over Samsung 11-0. This morning, SK over Samsung 4-1. SK is playing a little better, with the exception of that large defeat to the Dinos, but the Dinos, as we know, are the best team. Doosan over Kia 5-1, Lotte over KT 6-4, NC over Hanwha 13-2, and Kaium over LG 6-3. And over the weekend, tomorrow, Kia Doosan, NC Hanwha are 2 o'clock Korean time, 1 o'clock Eastern here, and then 4 o'clock Eastern and 5 o'clock Korean time. Samsung SK, LG Kaium, and KT Lotte. And then on Sunday, all the games are at 5 o'clock their time and 4 o'clock a.m. Eastern. And it's Kia, Doosan, Samsung SK, LG Kaium, NC Hanwha, and KT Lotte. So the same matchups from the previous 2 days. And obviously they don't play on Mondays, as we know. The standings really quick, I want to go over. The Dinos are a dominant 21-6. Doosan and LG are 17-10. Kaium is 16-12. Kia is 15-13. Lotte is 12-15. Samsung's 12-16. KT is 11-16. SK is 9-18, and Hanwha is the worst at 7-21. So the Dinos are just awesome, and they continue to dominate the league. Doosan and LG are on the come. Kaium is okay. Kia's a little mediocre. Lotte, I'd say, is a little mediocre as well after that good start. Take away the 5-0, they are 7-15 in their last 22 games. So that is somewhat an aberration. Samsung's 12-16, KT's 11-16. As I mentioned, that those two teams are not that good. SK was the worst team for a while, but they've been playing a lot better lately. If I'm not mistaken, I think they knocked off the Dinos once. And then Hanwha is now officially the worst team record-wise in the KBO. Now I'm going to go over last night's episode of Celebrity Watch Party. Your typical fun episode of that show. You obviously have your celebrities that are usually on the show, such as the Bucks, the Osbournes, Curtis Stone and Lindsay Price, Tyra Banks and her mom, Steve Wozniak and wife, Reggie and Lilith Bush, JoJo Siwa and her mother, Raven Simone and friends, and Romeo and Master P. And then Lindsay and Elena Lohan made appearances on this episode. Shows and segments watched include Extreme Makeover Home Edition. That's interesting. That show really isn't on anymore. Obviously, one of the better ABC shows over the last 15 years or so, or even 20 years. That was a great show. Haircut Night in America, Space Launch Live, the launch of SpaceX, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, My Feet Are Killing Me, Married at First Sight Australia, and CBS on the George Floyd protests. So I was right about George Floyd situation being involved in this episode. Extreme Makeover Home Edition was a pleasant surprise. Like I said, that show really hasn't been around. It'd be cool if ABC either brought it back and brought the show back entirely, or brought the show back just to re-air old episodes on TV. And that obviously was a show that changed many families' lives. Ty Pennington was the host, and he had his design team. There's been celebrities on the show. At least every episode at least had celebrities on. And then every major number episode, they'd have reunions. I remember Magic Johnson being in a reunion episode surprising a family. Leanne Womack was on an episode. I think Elton John might have been on an episode. Darius Rucker with Hootie and the Blowfish were on an episode. Jorge Posada and Derek Jeter were on an episode. You see a lot of athletes. I think There was another athlete I vaguely remember. Was LeBron on there or Kobe? I think it was Kobe. If I had to, if I think about it, I think it was Kobe Bryant. I might have to look back on the show's episode list, but I vaguely remember a Lakers player, or let alone an NBA superstar on the show. But Kobe would make a lot of sense, and so would LeBron. But yeah, there were a ton of celebrities on this show. I think Howie Mandel made an appearance one time. But yeah, a variety of different celebrities would make surprise appearances for the family, depending on what the family's interests are. And as far as I'm concerned, this show is supposed to run until July 16th, which would be the 10th episode of this cute little series that being very quarantined with these families, but and it's obviously based on the Google Box and features the celebrities recording themselves watching and reacting to TV shows. And then due to COVID, Fox actually pushed back the premieres of some scripted series to later in the year, and opted to create the Celebrity Watch Party as one of the two shows, along with obviously the Masked Singer after show that could be produced remotely to fill the programming gap. So you'll be seeing more episodes of this once the COVID dies down and whatnot. Now I want to recap the season finale of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It was Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen. And Andy Cohen was Anderson Cooper's help, and Anderson Cooper was Andy Cohen's help. It was a very fun season finale. Anderson Cooper was playing for the Spikes K9 Fund. He made it to the $1 million question, and he had Kelly Ripa as his phone-a-friend. And Anderson Cooper took too long, wasted all the 30 seconds repeating the question for Kelly. And if he didn't repeat the question, and they actually had Kelly on after Anderson Cooper decided to walk away with $500,000, and asked her what her choice would have been, and her choice would have been the correct answer. So Anderson Cooper repeating the question could very well have cost himself $1 million, because what if Kelly Ripa told him what she thought, and he decided to agree with Kelly instead of walking away with the $500,000? But that's obviously a what if, and I really don't know if he would have actually agreed with Kelly or not. But the fact that Kelly Ripa was right there really brings a what if for me. And then Andy Cohen goes, he played for Planned Parenthood. He made it up to the $64,000 question. He got it wrong, and he walked away with $32,000 as the $64,000. If you get that question up to the $1 million, if you get one of those wrong, you drop down to $32,000. So he walks away with $32,000. The horn sounds as after he got that question wrong, and then obviously that was the end of a fun season of Celebrity Millionaire. You had a bunch of good celebrities: Eric Stonestreet, Will Forte, Nikki Glazer, Jane Fonda, Anthony Anderson, Ike Brainholtz, Hannibal Buress, Catherine O'Hara, Dr. Phil, who took forever, Lauren Lapkus, Anderson Cooper, and Andy Cohen. I thought that Anderson Cooper did really well. Obviously, had he listened to Kelly Ripa and not repeated himself, he probably would have won $1 million. So I'd say he probably came, in theory, the closest. Lauren Lapkus would have been wrong with the $1 million question, as she walked away with $500,000. She did the right thing by walking away. I'm not saying that Anderson Cooper didn't do the right thing by walking away with the $500,000, but it's better than getting that answer wrong. He would have went with a different answer than what Kelly Ripa would have thought it was, because he ran out of time. So you could make a case he actually did do the right thing in walking away with the $500,000, considering that he wasted his time repeating the question for Kelly Ripa. And we don't know when the season 2 will be back. Probably in the fall when the COVID stuff calms down. We discussed what Flox's plans were for the Celebrity Watch Party show. And I think that Millionaire will be back in like October, November. I think in October, November, and especially around Christmas time, you'll be seeing a slew of reality TV shows and game shows and other sort of shows. Like The Masked Singer, I don't think you'll see till December. I think they'll probably tape it at the end of the summer, especially with Newsom doing the 180 that he did. I do think that they'll tape The Masked Singer, maybe limited audience. But my prediction is that The Masked Singer comes back in, let's say, December. And then they film the episodes in like October, November, and even into December. Because they were filming season 3 as season 3 was premiering. Like, Gronk admitted that when he got unmasked that people were asking him whether he was the White Tiger or not. So, yeah, we'll save a reality TV talk and when all the shows will come back with new seasons when that time ultimately comes. Now I'm going to do my latest MLB mock draft. This is my 4th mock draft. I started last night the series of MLB teams with what they should do for the draft and their prospect updates. And I'll continue to do so with some more shows dropping tonight and Saturday and Sunday and maybe even into Monday and Tuesday night as well. So here's, without further ado, my 4th edition of my mock draft. Number 1, Detroit Tigers. Spencer Torkelson, first baseman, left fielder, Arizona State. It seems like Torkelson is the overwhelming favorite to go first. He was one of the most feared hitters in all of college baseball throughout the last 3 years. There's a chance that he blows through the minors and is in the bigs sooner than people expect. 2, Baltimore Orioles. Austin Martin, third baseman, center fielder, Vanderbilt. The Orioles have a tough decision as they can go with Martin or the best pitcher in the draft with Asa Lacy. They go with Martin, who dazzles with a hit tool that is easily a plus, utilizing a swing with a natural loft and double plus bat speed. 3, Miami Marlins. Asa Lacy, lefty, Texas A&M. The Marlins are happy with whomever falls to them, whether it's Lacy or Austin Martin. Lacy is someone that is equipped with a 4-pitch mix, 2 of which already grade at a plus or better, fastball and slider, with another in the changeup seemingly on its way up. 4, Kansas City Royals. Zach Veen, outfielder, Spruce Creek High School in Florida. The Royals go with the fast-rising prep school prospect here with Veen. Many believe he's the best high school player in the draft, and his vision at the plate looks advanced well beyond his age and allows his violent swing to barrel up balls with ease, leading to the hit tool grading at average while projecting better at peak. 5, the Toronto Blue Jays. Emerson Hancock, righty, Georgia. There's a case to be made that Hancock is the best pitcher in the draft, but he probably is the safest bet in terms of pure starting pitchers. Hancock presents the same 4-pitch mix as Asa Lacy with the fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup, with less electricity but more command and polish. 6, Seattle Mariners. Nick Gonzalez, second baseman, New Mexico State. Gonzalez is one of the more interesting prospects as we head closer to the draft. Folks are skeptical of him due to putting up great numbers against lesser competition. Some think Gonzalez won't be able to stick at second base long term. He has the makeup and worth ethic, being able to keep the elite hit tool he carries at the Keystone. 7, Pittsburgh Pirates. Heston Kjerstad, outfield, Arkansas. The Pirates are a team that should simply go with the best player available, and you can make a case for Kjerstad at this point. He is someone that has a unique, complex left-handed swing he brings to the table with double plus raw power, who many compare to Philadelphia's Rhys Hoskins. 8, San Diego Padres. Max Meyer, lefty, Minnesota. The Padres are a wild card in this draft, considering their farm system is in good shape, so there's no pressure on them to go in a certain direction. Meyer used to be a closer who only started 15 games while at Minnesota, and he presents a certain reliever risk due to size and durability concerns, but the question marks are overshadowed by the explosive arsenal Meyer brings to the table. 9. Colorado Rockies. Reed Detmer's lefty, Louisville. This would be a great selection for the Rockies, who badly need pitching in their farm system. The curveball is unspeakably good, which is on all the time. He pounds the strike zone great and is great at getting strikeouts. 10. Los Angeles Angels. Robert Hassel III, outfield, Independence High School, Tennessee. The Angels could go in a number of directions here as they go for a prep player in Hassel. He is somebody that can go higher than this due to his pure hitting ability and his bat control. 11. Chicago White Sox. Patrick Bailey, catcher, North Carolina State. The White Sox are a bit of a wild card with this selection. Bailey is a defense-first catcher who's shown great athleticism and a switch hitter that's shown power on both sides of the ball with solid tools in front, and Bailey brings a special combination of the two. 12. Cincinnati Reds. Austin Hendrick, outfield, West Allegheny High School, Pennsylvania. Hendrick is one of the fast-rising prospects as the draft is a week away. Hendrick is perhaps the best power-hitting prep player in the draft, although there are concerns due to a high number of strikeouts. 13. San Francisco Giants. Cade Cavalli, righty, Oklahoma. The Giants are an interesting team with this selection. Cavalli was the ace of the Sooner staff, who people are mixed about. This could be a risky pick due to the flaws he has and injury issues. What makes him intriguing is his ability to strike guys out and his great fastball and a devastating slider. 14. Texas Rangers. Garrett Mitchell, center fielder, UCLA. Mitchell is a prospect that is dropping in a lot of mock drafts and could drop further than this on draft night. He's a great athlete and generates a ton of power and speed, but there is risk due to his swing and miss concerns and due to his type 1 diabetes. 15. Philadelphia Phillies. Tyler Soderstrom, catcher, outfielder, Turlock High School in California. The Phillies can go in a number of directions here at this selection. Soderstrom is one of the best all-around high school bats in the country and could go higher than this since he is very well-rounded. 16. Chicago Cubs. Garrett Crochet, lefty, Tennessee. This would be a steal for the Cubs as they land a very good college arm with this selection. Inconsistency and early season injury is what will probably cost him from going higher than this, but with a plus slider and a devastating changeup, the Tennessee product has some of the best raw stuff in this class. 17. The Boston Red Sox. Mick Abel, righty, Haysute High School, Oregon. A top prospect who is hurt by the shortened 2020 season falls here to the Red Sox. The righty has a clean, fluid delivery that offers projection and the potential for him to have 3 above-average pitches. He has all the makings of being a top-of-the-rotation arm. 18. The Arizona Diamondbacks. Jared Kelly, righty, Refugio High School, Texas. The Diamondbacks get themselves a possible steal here with the prep arm at Kelly, who many people think can go in the top 15. Many people project Kelly to be a frontline starter, and his confidence in his swing and miss changeup displays potential with the slider. 19. New York Mets. Nick Bitsko, righty, Central Bucks East High School, Pennsylvania. This pick would make sense for the Mets, who have a recent history of selecting prep arms. Bitsko is someone that can drop out of the first round due to the lack of information due to the shortened season, but he is just as advanced as any prep arm in the pitch field department. 20. Milwaukee Brewers. Pete Crow Armstrong, outfielder, Harvard Westlake High School, California. The Brewers go with an upside play here with Armstrong, who could go higher than this. The left-handed hitting center fielder has 5-tool potential and is a prototypical top-of-the-lineup hitter with the defensive abilities to stick in center field. 21. St. Louis Cardinals. Cole Wilcox, righty, Georgia. Wilcox is one of the more underrated arms in this class, and the Cardinals would gladly take him here. Wilcox leans on 2+ pitches in the fastball and slider, but he is only a sophomore that doesn't have much starting experience. 22. Washington Nationals. Slade Sassoni, righty, Miami. The Nationals have been heavily linked to college arms, and I have them snagging one here at Sassoni. Many people project Sassoni to be a reliever in the future, and his pure stuff measures up against a lot of other college arms. 23. Cleveland Indians. Ed Howard, shortstop, Mount Carmel High School in Illinois. The Indians can go in a number of directions here at this selection. Here I have them snagging the talented prep shortstop in Howard, who has ability to make all the plays necessary to stick at shortstop, and he stands out as well as he could seem to cover ground effortlessly without having a plus speed tool. 24, Tampa Bay Rays. Dylan Dingler, catcher, Ohio State. The Rays are in good shape in terms of their farm system, so there's no pressure on them to make a certain selection. Catchers who can stay behind the plate are hard to find, and Dingler is athletic with excellent defensive skills, and he could possibly go a few picks earlier. 25, Atlanta Braves. Clayton Beeter, righty, Texas Tech. The Braves are another team that's in good shape farm system-wise, so they can go in a number of directions. Beeter is rising up draft boards and can go higher than this due to his big velocity on the fastball and great spin on the outpitch curveball. 26, Oakland Athletics. Justin Foscue, second baseman, Mississippi State. The Athletics are a team that loves taking college players, and here I have them taking one with Foscue. He is somebody that has a chance to be an impact hitter, but he is limited defensively. 27, Minnesota Twins. Chris McMahon, righty, Miami. The Twins should be looking at pitching with this selection, and they land a solid one here in McMahon. He flashes an exciting three-pitch mix that all possesses above average or better qualities. 28, New York Yankees. Nick Lofton, shortstop, Baylor. The Yankees have been heavily linked to college position players in these mock drafts, and they take one here with Lofton. He is someone a lot of people feel will go higher than this due to his bat-to-ball skills and his ability to stay up the middle defensively. And 29, Los Angeles Dodgers, Bobby Miller, righty, Louisville. The Dodgers can go in a number of directions here, and their farm system is loaded, so they're a team that can afford that. Miller can go higher than this or not go in the first round at all, and he is someone that is very solid and has improved each season in college. Now I'm going to do my 2015 top 10 NHL players. A couple honorable mentions for you guys. Pekka Rinne, Nashville Predators, helped lead the Predators to a second place finish in their division, although they lost in the first round. Jonathan Toews, Chicago Blackhawks, helped the Blackhawks win their third Stanley Cup in a 6-year span. John Tavares, New York Islanders, helped lead the Islanders to the postseason for the that was their second postseason in a 3-year span. And then they wound up making the playoffs a couple times after that with Tavares as well. Vlad Tarasenko, St. Louis Blues. They lost in the first round to Minnesota that year, but Vlad Tarasenko helped lead the Blues to a division title. PK Subban, awesome player, helped lead Montreal to a division title. And Shea Weber, the irony is that PK Subban and Shea Weber were traded for each other a couple years later. Shea Weber at the time was on the Predators and helped lead them to a resurgence that season. And now my top 10. 10, Sidney Crosby, Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins underachieved that year, but Crosby had a great year, and they wound up losing in 5 to the Rangers. 9, Devin Dubnyk, Minnesota Wild. Helped lead the Wild to a surprising run to the second round, although swept by the Chicago Blackhawks. 8, Steven Stamkos, Tampa Bay Lightning. Helped lead the Lightning to the Stanley Cup final, although they finished second in their own division. And they were a team that many people picked to win the Stanley Cup prior to that season. So you can make a case they underachieved in the regular season a little bit. Although they got hot at the right time by knocking off the Red Wings, although they almost lost to the Red Wings in the first round. The Canadiens, they beat them in 6. I had a 3-0 lead on them, and Montreal won 2 games to make that series interesting. And then beat the Rangers in 7. 7, Erik Karlsson, Ottawa Senators. Helped lead the Senators to the postseason that year, and it was their third playoff appearance in a 4-year span. 6, Rick Nash, New York Rangers, was the best forward on the Rangers team that won the President's Trophy that year. 5, Ryan Getzlaf, Anaheim Ducks. He was awesome that year, helping lead the Ducks to a Pacific Division title and to the conference finals. And if I'm not mistaken, they were the 1 seed in the Western Conference. They had the best record in the West that year. 4, Carey Price, Montreal Canadiens, won the Hart Trophy, but lost in the second round to Tampa Bay. 3, Henrik Lundqvist, New York Rangers, helped lead the Rangers to the conference finals. You could argue that he should be lower on the list or an honorable mention, but he was hurt a lot that season, but he really is the reason why the Rangers made the conference finals. They had some injuries, although they won the President's Trophy. He really got back in the form in the postseason and really got the Rangers almost to the Stanley Cup Finals for the second consecutive season. Second, Alex Ovechkin, Washington Capitals, helped lead the Capitals to the second round in a 7-game series with the Rangers, and then had a good start to the 15-16 season. En route to the Capitals, I believe, won the President's Trophy that in 15-16 season. And number one, Patrick Kane, Chicago Blackhawks, helped win their third cup in a 5 or 6 year span for the Blackhawks, and then got off to a great start the next season for the Blackhawks. And now my top 10 NHL games of 2015. A couple honorable mentions for you. You have the Kings-Oilers game, regular season game in the beginning of the 15-16 season, October 25th. It was a 3-2 Kings win. Jonathan Quick robs Connor McDavid at the end of the game to prevail for the Kings. Blues-Blackhawks, November 4th, the beginning of the 15-16 season. It was a nationally televised game, Wednesday night hockey on NBCSN. Blues come away with a 6-5 overtime goal win on a goal by David Backes. Ducks-Jets, April 20th, this was Game 3 of the 2015 postseason. Ricard Raquel wins in an OT for Anaheim as they go up 3-0 in the series. Capitals-Islanders, Game 3 on April 19th in the first round. John Tavares wins in an overtime as the Isles went up 2-1. And then Capitals-Islanders 2 days later, April 21st, Game 4 of that same first round series as Nick Backstrom wins in an OT as the Capitals evened up that series at 2 apiece. And now my top 10. 10th place, Penguins-Rangers, April 24th, Game 5. Carl Hagelin wins in an OT to send the Rangers to the second round, and they'll eliminate Crosby and the Pens. 9th place, Flames-Ducks, May 10th, Game 5, series-winning goal by Corey Perry to send the Ducks to the conference finals. 8th place, Capitals-Rangers, April 30th, Game 1, Joel Ward with a game-winning goal with 0.5 of a second left as the Caps went up 1-0 in that series. 7th place, Capitals-Rangers, May 8th, which was Game 5. Rangers win an elimination home game on a goal by Ryan McDonough to send the series back to D.C. for a Game 6. 6th place, Rangers-Lightning, May 20th, Game 3, overtime, winner by Nikita Kucherov as the Lightning went up 2-1 in that series. 5th place, Blackhawks-Predators, April 15th, Game 1. Duncan Keith, double overtime winner as the Hawks went up 1-0 in the first round. 4th place, Canadians-Lightning, Game 1, May 1st of the second round. Nikita Kucherov wins it again in overtime. It was double overtime as the Bolts went up 1-0. And looking back, that was a big win, or else that series probably goes 7. And you would probably get a Game 7 in Montreal. 3rd place, Predators Blackhawks. Triple overtime thriller in Game 4. 3-2 was the final score. Brent Seabrook in triple overtime with a minute into the triple overtime. 2nd place, Capitals Rangers. May 13th, Game 7 of the second round. Derek Stepan wins it in overtime to send the Rangers to the conference finals. And number 1, Blackhawks Ducks, May 19th. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Marcus Kruger wins it in triple overtime for the Blackhawks as they even up the conference finals at 1 game apiece. Now that's it for today's show. I'll be back in about a half hour or so with my buddy Jeff Mancochetti. We'll do the what if region of Madison's bracket of pain, and we'll do a rapid fire segment at the end talking about the WNBA's return, and we'll pick the winners of the 3 NASCAR races from the weekend. That's why I did not do NASCAR today. We'll do NASCAR on the show with Matt Glitchetti in a couple of moments or so. I hope you guys have a great weekend, everybody.